Hi everyone. So this is a video talking about the first assignment. So it's the ASN1 overview, which is the About Me project. Okay, so this is the details here. And this is inside the week 1 folder down at the bottom of the folder below the self-study. And this is just directly what's up there already. So I'm just going to go through this and kind of walk you through the first assignment and the upload process as well. So you can have this to refer back to for future assignments. So right up here at the top, we have the name. This is due 1 minute before midnight on Monday, October 25th. So we will have a live session before this has to be submitted. So if you have any questions, you can ask in class next week. It's a total of 60 points. So my instructions for assignments are very detailed because they're pretty much like a step-by-step checklist. If you follow it down the bullets here, I mean, you will do exactly what needs to be done because everything is listed here. So our description that we have here is to create a one-page website with a file name of me.html. All right, the page is going to contain text and images. All images must be web optimized and royalty free. So you have to have legal rights to it, and you need to make sure it's optimized. Your best bet is to use places like Pixabay. So these are royalty free. They're already made for websites. So they're already optimized. The only thing you need to make sure is that when you see an image that you like and you go to do the download, make sure you don't choose a humongous image. I mean, honestly, for this assignment, the smallest size, the 640 by 413 is really all that you need. If you do end up getting the largest size, it will be up to you to make sure that you resize it so that it's not, going to take up the entire screen as well. But Pixabay is one. Another one is Unsplash, and you may know of some. You can do a search for free royalty-free websites. So Unsplash is another one, and these all look like they're owned by the same company. So Pixabay, Unsplash. Oh, one more that I know of is Pexels. Okay, so that's P-E-X-E-L-S. Okay, you might even see the same images across these as well. Now, I do know for some of the images, you won't be able to find them through here. So this is one of the times when I kind of make an exception about this because of some of the images that you will need to get, and I'll come down to that in a minute. Okay, so you're also going to be creating an external CSS file that you're going to call styles.css, and you're going to link it to me.html. And this is all stuff that we did inside the self-study. That's why you want to make sure that you first review the live session recording and then the self-study recording as well, because between that, it's everything you need to be able to successfully do this assignment. So first, at the beginning, talking about the project folder structure, right? So you're going to create a project root folder with this following naming structure, okay? So I have an example of that here, right? So web150 underscore ASN1 underscore, and it's going to be your first name underscore last name. All right, and then all of your projects and files are going to go into this root folder, and that's what it's called. This is the root folder. It's the universe of the website. So inside this folder, you're going to create a folder named images. Okay, and then you're going to have 2 images for this assignment, right? And they'll be placed inside here. You're also going to create a folder named styles, and inside there will be your completed styles.css file, right? Because we need to have proper organization whenever we create websites. All right, and then along with the me.html itself. So I also show an example of that, what that structure would look like. The title area, remember that's the part that's up inside the head portion. You want it to say about me in there, okay? And then the heading area is going to display your name as a top heading. All right, so here's a example output. All right, so there's the title area here, heading area, top heading. And then we have the main content area, and first part's going to list the top 3 favorite foods, including a heading, right? And you're going to have the list here, right? Ordered list. And you're also going to have the image. And then your top favorite movies or TV shows, right? And then you have the list here with the image of your most favorite up on top. And then you're also going to create another area called wanted superpower, right? G rated, all right? So, and just with like, you know, just a few sentences, doesn't have to be a whole bunch, you know, no more than 3, you know, 1 or 2 is great. And you're going to include that heading there, and you're going to put in that description. All right. And don't worry, with what little we have gone through with CSS, everything's just going to kind of left justify, and that's okay. In future classes, we're going to talk about these great things called Flexbox that's going to allow us to be able to center everything and be able to organize things much more easily. But we also have a footer down at the bottom too, right? And then that's the information that you're going to display. All right, so that is the content and overall look. Coming into section C, now we're getting into the coding portion, right? So talking about HTML specifically. So you must include the required foundational HTML tags and attributes needed for all HTML pages, okay? So this is everything that we have done. Every time we create a HTML page, then, you know, it's that boilerplate stuff that needs to be done. So we did it with our Vegetopia, we did it with the assignment listing page. So you're going to be doing the same thing here as well. Now, I know that the first reaction is going to be to copy and paste. I really don't want you to do that, mainly because this is all brand new for you guys. Copy and paste is fine if you can do it from memory. If you can't do it from memory, then you should be typing this out in order to get it into your memory and to get more of that practice for typing HTML code. Because if you just copy and paste, then the meaning behind it and the reason and the structure is just going to be lost on you. And that is only going to cause more problems as we get into more sophisticated layouts and getting into using Flexbox with and more advanced CSS with your HTML. So just do yourself the favor. It doesn't take long to type out. Even if you're looking at it on another screen, then go ahead and just type it out. Oh, sorry, you can see the little badge what my husband's playing, but that's okay. But do your best to type it out, you know, so you at least start getting that muscle memory. And, you know, the more you do the stuff about titles and the header and the head, the main, the footer, the more it's going to start sticking in your head and the right place where everything is supposed to be, because that's very important. You don't want malformed code. All right, so we have here, starting after the foundational stuff, all right, inside the head, you need to include the title, which we've kind of talked about what that's going to look like. You know, part of the required foundational stuff is going to also be including those meta tags as well. You're also going to have the link to your external file, right, inside the head portion. Then in the body, you can see it's pretty much been laid out for you here. You just have to make sure you put it in the right spot and do it correctly, right? We have a header. You're going to have an H1 in there, and then you've got your main, and then you're going to have a series, right? You're going to have a section. And remember, a section is basically like a chapter in a book, something that has a title, right? So very much like top 3 favorite foods, top 3 favorite movies, TV, and wanted superpower, right? So, you know, I would assume that each one of those would go into its own section. And then you've got a heading tag that needs to be used for the section, which would be the titles. And then you've got a unordered list or ordered list. I would recommend using the ordered list because it does the numbering for you. You have your P tags for doing your paragraphs. And then for your 2 images, right, you have to remember to add in that alt information. And then try to keep the height. I highly recommend you keep the height of both of the images the same or make them the same. The image file size needs to be under 100 kilobytes. Okay, you can easily see the size by going in there. You can always right click. I mean, if you could go under view and details and it will show you the size as well. All right, so this is not asking too much to keep it under 100K because you can see my images are pretty tiny. All right, and then footer using the small tag as well. And then getting into the CSS portion, right? You're going to create that external file. You're going to change the background color, right? So that's what I've got going on here. And it needs to be something that is sufficient contrast, right? So that it's still easy to read the text. I honestly do not want to see a black background with red text or dark gray text because that is just poor user experience. It's bad for accessibility. It's just bad for anybody, really. So, so make sure you have proper contrast so that everything can be easily read and also read from a distance as well. Then you're going to also add comments to the CSS file and the HTML file, right? So for the HTML file, all right, this is what you're going to add in. You're going to add in your first and last name, Web 150, ASN1, and then the due date. Now for the HTML, you're going to add this on line 2, okay, because it has to come after the doc type. Doc type has to be line 1. And then inside your styles.css, you can add that comment there on line 1 because the CSS files don't have to have like a doc type thing like HTML does on its first line. Okay, and remember they have to be properly done. So each of those comments use different symbols. I included the same screenshot here for reference. And then coming down, you will also need to validate your code. So this was something that I showed in class previously, right? So when you click on this guy, it's going to take you over to the W3's markup validation. You're going to come in, this is the validate by direct input, and you're just going to copy and paste your HTML in here. You're going to hit that check button, and if there is any type of errors that comes up, it is up to you to make sure you fix it. So that it's proper. It's very good with the descriptions as to letting you know at what line number something is wrong. If you get some type of a warning about like the heading tag needs to be inside of a section, that's okay. That can be ignored. And then you're going to do the same thing with your CSS, but your CSS is going to be so minimal. It should be, easy. No one should get any errors on that. But you are going to need to take a screenshot of both the HTML validator and the CSS validator to show that, yes, you did it and there are no errors or there's acceptable warnings. Okay, those are going to have to be submitted on Blackboard as well. And you can just throw those into your images folder. That's fine. I also want to point out that the validators do not always catch everything. So you still need to make sure you review through your code, that it is well formed and it is well laid out. Remember, you can right click and choose format document in order to have that indentation done for you. If you have any of those squiggly lines in your code, that's something else that you need to investigate. Just hover over it. There'll be a little pop-up that gives you information. Always remember to test your code, make sure it's actually working before you submit it. And then coming over to the submission portion. Okay, so you're going to be submitting in 2 places. You're going to be submitting on the web host, and you're also going to be submitting through Blackboard. Okay, so we're going to step through this process here. So first, you're going to zip compress your root folder. Okay, so I'm just going to come back up to my folder here. So that's my root folder. Now I'm in Windows, so I'm just right clicking and I'm going to go down to send to and then compressed. All right, so that's just the zip file. And remember too, this will, you want to include these screenshots of the validators in there as well before you zip it. Okay, so we have this here. And next step is to upload and extract the zip file to the InMotion hosting account. Okay, now definitely at this point, you should have logged in at least once. You should have also gone through the assignment listing exercise. So this first portion, actually, that's right here, it has already been uploaded. So coming into File Manager, right, and then going to the public_HTML folder, there's that index.html. And now I need to upload this assignment. Well, these file managers do not let you upload more than one file at a time, which is extremely tedious. So the way around that is to zip everything, upload that single file, and then you extract it here up on your web server. So I'm going to come over and click on upload. I'm going to go to my zip file. I'm going to drag that in, right? Came through. I'm going to go back. There it is. Now I need to select this, and I'm going to come over and choose the extract button here up in the top menu. Now, depending on how wide your screen's at, right? You just got to look for it up in this kind of medium gray bar area. All right, so it's saying, do you want to extract it? We say extract files. And so this is just giving a listing of everything. I hit close. And then there's the folder there. Okay, now this is, we're not done here. Okay, all we did was just upload and extract it. So if we come back up, you know, we have our assignment listing page. So this part is actually already done from the previous assignment listing page video. So we've already added this into the assignment listing page. It's actually already up onto the our web server here, right? So there's our index.html. Now, because we already did this previously, what's nice about this is that I can come back over to the cPanel area. And remember this right panel over here, and then the primary domain. So when I click on this, if I refresh it, there we go. All right, that's what we had done earlier. And so now this link works, right? It works because the path is there. So if we take a look what we've got in the URL, all right, so technically all this stuff here, that's pointing, that's our public_HTML folder, right? So that's this guy right here. That's that public HTML folder. And then from inside there, we have that Web 150 ASN1 first name, last name, right? And that's this guy right here, right? So this guy. And then inside there is me.html. And since that path exists, and that's the path that we gave on the assignment listing page, everything's fine. It found the file, it returns it, and now we're able to see it up on the web server. Okay. So this portion is okay, good to go, but we're not done just yet, because we have the Blackboard submission. Right, so we still have our zipped file here, okay, and we need to upload that into Blackboard. So again, the assignment details, this video, and the submission portion is at the bottom of the week 1 folder. Right, so when you click on the title of the assignment, let me pull this up here. Okay, and my screen's going to look a little bit different than yours because I'm in the instructor edit mode. But you see, here's the date information. For the attached files, right? We're just going to come over, we're going to take that zip file, we're going to drop it in. And remember, you need to make sure that the validator screenshots are inside there. We're still not done. All right, so we added this in, but in the comment section, you need to copy and paste the URL to your Web 150 assignment listing page. Okay, so this I want you to pay attention to because every semester there's always someone that sends me a link to their local file and not their web host. So you need to make sure, right? It is this part right here. You can easily get to it. That's your primary domain, right? So this is what you need to send in and place into the comments. So I'm just going to come inside here. I'm going to highlight the URL. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste that in here. All right, that's all that needs to be done. And then from there, I can click onto it to be able to view it online, right? And then you just hit submit. So a lot of times what ends up happening is that I'll end up getting something that looks more like this up in the URL. So that starts with like file : If you submit that in, you will be getting an email from me saying that, you know, you have to resubmit with the proper link for the first assignment. If you do it again in future assignments, you will have points taken off, right? Because, you know, this doesn't help anybody because, you know, unless you guys have actual access to my local machine, this link will not work outside of where I'm at here. So you just need to make sure that you're grabbing it so that it's the public link, the one that is for the web server. All right, so that gets placed inside there. And then we have the rubric here at the end. Okay, so this is the overview for the first assignment, the About Me web project. If you have any questions about this, please contact me sooner rather than later. And remember that Marcia also has SI hours. Keep in mind that Marcia can help, but she can't do the assignment for you, all right? So she can point you in the right direction, but she can't tell you exactly what to type because, you know, that's kind of besides the point. So remember, college is extremely expensive. Just get your money's worth. That's the most important part. All right, so that's going to be it for this. And I will talk to you guys later.